Please teach your children to stop looking at people that are eating food. Yeah. Teach your children to stop staring at people that are eating. It's not as if they did not eat in their house. Long throat is not good. Teach your children that. People will say, what's wrong with this woman? What's doing this woman today? Nothing is doing me. I just came to film video. I said, let me check in with you guys and also film a video, another sit down video for your viewing pleasure. Now, I want to tell you people something. I want to talk about the basic manners you should be teaching your children. Because the reason why I added this parenting niche to my channel is the fact that I've realized, I don't know if you have come to this realization, but I've realized that so many people don't know how to parent too. Honestly, so many people don't know how to. I'm not a perfect parent. Let me put this out there. Disclaimer, first of all, I'm not perfect. I'm still a work in progress. I learn on the job. And then not just I learn on the job, I do a lot of intentional learning. I follow a lot of parenting people. A lot of pages on Instagram, a lot of pages on YouTube where I learn. Praise for way and the rest of them. I follow them. I learn parenting. But some parents don't put in this intentional work. Some parents think it's just to bump Pekin and forget about it, and then let the children train themselves or let the nannies train the children. Some parents don't put in the work. They don't know. They have no clue about the first thing about parenting. So I said, let me come and use this my platform to also share these things, because you might know a lot of things, but there are some things I'll talk about on this channel that you would be hearing for the first time that you will not know. So that's the purpose of this, my niche that I created on this channel, this parenting niche, and I'm hoping that you like it. Okay, so today I want to talk about the basic things we should be teaching our children, because so many children don't know these things. I observe children a lot. Even when I was in Nigeria, kids used to come visiting my children and I see the way they behave, and it was clear to me that some of these children were not taught these things. Okay, number one, teach your children not to eavesdrop or interrupt people. It sounds basic, I know, but it will shock you that so many children don't do these things. They don't know these things because their parents did not teach them. Some parents allow their children to eavesdrop into their conversation. Their parents might be, maybe their mom or their dad has a guest, and the parents are busy talking, and the children are there eavesdropping and even chipping in. Is quite rude. It's not proper. In case you think it's okay, it's not okay. So teach your children to stop eavesdropping on people's conversations and stop interrupting when you are talking. You might be talking with your friend, a guest, and then your child will just come and interrupt like that. And to you, there's nothing wrong. They're just children. It's just a child. But your guest might take offense. Do you know? Your guests might know better, even though you don't know better. And I'm hoping that you will know better after watching this video, that it is not right for you to let your children eavesdrop or interrupt when adults are having a conversation. It's not right. So please teach them better. Secondly, teach your children to speak to people kindly, to speak to their peers kindly, to speak to their younger ones kindly, to speak to their friends kindly, because I hear the way some children talk and I'm appalled. My little Zite, the other day I smacked her because she called her brother stupid. She called her elder brother stupid. Such language is not allowed in my home. I don't know where she learned it from. I don't know where she picked it from. See, I teach them. I taught her that day. I taught her a lesson she will never forget, that she should not say things like that about her sibling. Speak kindly to people. Teach your children to speak kindly to people. You don't want your child to go to school and be talking to people anyhow. And you know that our children are like sponges. They pick up things that their parents do. You might not know they are picking these things up. They are soaking it up. Watch the way you talk to people. They can learn it. No, I don't call people stupid. I know for sure I don't call people stupid. She did not pick that thing from me. That word that she mentioned that day is not from me. It's from something else. Maybe all these Roma and what's the name of all those people that these children used to watch on YouTube. Anyway, watch the way you talk about people. Speak to people kindly and your children will emulate you. If you are rude to people, if you're rash, if you're harsh and you talk to people somehow, whether behind their backs or in front of them, your children will pick these things up because you're their first role model, whether you like it or not. You don't want them to pick these things up and go to school and be talking to their friends in such a manner. And I'm extra careful because I am abroad. I can't have Zite going to school to call her classmates stupid when she starts going to school, and then the teacher will write me letter that my child is aggressive, that where did my where did my child learn that type of thing from. That's why I'm trying to let her know that these are bad words. You shouldn't say them. Teach your children to speak kindly to other children. Teach your children to knock before entering a room. Do you know that some children just barge into rooms without knocking? They just open the door and enter. My children used to do it before, but they've stopped it now. Even Boo Boo. My Boo Boo is 2 years old. He knocks. He knocks like an adult. He knocks like this. My Boo Boo knocks before entering the room because me and their dad, we make it an intentional. We put in an intentional effort into teaching them to do these things. You notice that I use the word intentionally a lot, right? Because that's what parenting should be these days. You should be intentional about it. So we make an effort to teach them. Before the babies, they will just open the room and enter. But now, then it got to a point where when Zite was still learning, sometimes she will open the door, then she'll be like, oh, then she will close it. Then she will now knock, bok, bok, bok. Then I will now say, come in, or the daddy will now say, come in before she enters. Teach your children not to barge into rooms. Not to barge into rooms unless it is their own room. Of course, it sounds ridiculous for them to go and knock on their own room before they enter now. Teach them to knock on a door before they enter. It's rude to barge into a room. Some adults, what am I even saying? Some adults just open room and enter. Some adults encroach on people's privacy. Some adults don't have boundaries. Which brings me to the next point. Teach your children boundaries. Teach them not to enter into anybody's room. It's not like they will go and teach them that when they go visiting their friends, whether it's play dates or whatever, whether you are there or not, they should not enter inside rooms. It's true that children are children. They might go visiting their friends and their friends will just take them to their parents' room. Teach your children that it is wrong, so that even if that their friend, their host that they went to visit is trying to take them to their parents' room, let them at least resist. Let them not just follow and go and enter. You understand? Teach them that it's wrong. Don't just enter a room unless you are invited. Do you know that me now, as an adult that I am, I cannot go to somebody's house now and go straight to the person's room. If you remember, there was one video, and I'm not sure, some of you are just following me newly, so you don't know. I filmed a video about my pet peeves sometime last year, talking about, I told a story. Let me tell it again because some of you don't know. There's a story I told about how somebody came to visit me. This lady was a friend. No, not a friend. This lady was my husband had a friend. So him and this friend were not so close. So his friend has a wife. So his friend and his wife came to visit us once. We sat in the parlor. They went home. The next time she came to visit me by herself, she came straight into the room that I share with my husband. Into her matrimonial room. She came in. She badged. She didn't even knock. She just came into the room like that. See, I could not hide my irritation. I couldn't hide it. I was like, why? How? Why? How can you enter into the room that I share with my husband? Please go to the parlor and wait for me. And then I went there to meet her. I couldn't still hide my irritation. It was so clear to her that I was irritated. And she was so uncomfortable. She left the house that day. She never came back. I never saw her again till this day. Some people don't know boundaries. Some adults don't know these boundaries. So me, as I am like this, I cannot go to somebody's house and enter inside the room. Even when I go to somebody's house and they're inviting me, come in now, come inside the room, I still feel like I'm trying to enter to see somebody's nakedness, you know, that type of thing. I feel like I'm encroaching on somebody's privacy. I feel uncomfortable until I get close to that person. Then I can actually enter the room. It depends on how close you are with the person. Teach your children the same. Teach them not to be entering people's rooms. It's people that they did not teach that grew up into adults that encroach and barge into people's private rooms like that because they didn't teach them when they were young. Don't make that mistake with your child. Teach your child boundaries. Teach them to knock before entering a room. Teach them not to enter people's rooms like that, especially uninvited, or even if they invite them, they should still resist before they enter. You get my point? Okay, thank you. Teach your children, this one is funny, but it's very important. Please teach your children to stop looking at people that are eating food. Yeah. Teach your children to stop staring at people that are eating. It's not as if they did not eat in their house. Long throat is not good. Teach your children that teach your children that long throat had the long throat, massive wrong throat. Long throat is bad. It's so bad that some children will eat at home and then they'll still go out and they'll be staring longingly at somebody's food and be swallowing spit as if they did not eat before coming out. It's embarrassing. And that's why I make it a point of duty before I go visiting anybody or before I go to a birthday party with my children, I feed them. Let their tummy be full before they go to that party for 2 reasons. Number 1 is so that they can actually play and enjoy themselves and have fun. Not when they get there, they'll get there on an empty stomach and be hustling for food, looking for food up and down. They will not now enjoy the party because they are hustling for food. You understand? So I make sure that their tummies are full before they go visiting anybody, so that when they get there, maybe if it's just visiting that we're visiting, when they get there and they are offered something, they'll be like, no, I'm full. You get? And then so that when they get there, when somebody else is eating, they will not be staring at the person. Even though these children, some of them, even when they eat, they'll still be staring at somebody. Teach them to not to look at people. Teach your children not to look at people that are eating food. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because it's embarrassing. It's rude. It's embarrassing. It will not make the person that is eating, the eater of the food, will not be feeling uncomfortable that, hey, this child is staring at me like that. Is he hungry? Is she hungry? Didn't they eat food? Didn't they eat in their house? You don't want that. So please teach your children to stop staring at people that are eating food. Start from when they are small. Start from when they are small so that they will get used to it on time. You understand? Okay. Please teach your children not to touch people's phones. I think I've filmed a video about, what am I saying? I think not long ago I filmed a video about it. Teach your children not to touch people's phones. It's rude to collect somebody's phone. Teach them not to be collecting people's phone, because what are they looking for inside somebody's phone? Until they see something that they are not supposed to see inside the phone. Yeah, so watch that video. I'm going to link it in the end card. It's very important. Also teach them not to collect their nanny's phones or whatever. Do you know there are adults today that they will just collect somebody's phone and start going through it? It's so rude because they didn't teach them when they were small that you don't collect people's private property like that. So teach your children to stop taking people's phones. That's why, do you know, one thing that adults do that annoy me is the fact that maybe you give somebody your phone. Do you know okay, maybe somebody will say, please look at this picture. Let me show you something. The person will now give you phone to look at picture. Me, and once I look at that picture, I hand it back. But some people will now, after looking at that one, they will now start scrolling through the gallery as if they are inside their parlor or inside their house. Why are you going through somebody's gallery? What if you see something that will embarrass you and embarrass the owner of the phone? Some adults do this thing. Some adults say we're boundaries. That's why it's important that we teach our children all these boundaries. Teach them not to be collecting people's phones, that it is rude. Okay? Now, finally, teach your children not to be talking about people's physical characteristics. Because whether the person has a disability or not, it's embarrassing when your child is talking about somebody's physical characteristics. And children are loud. They can even be saying it loud and the person will not be hearing it. Like, why is this person's tummy big like this? Why is this person's eye big like this? You know, things like that. You don't want your children to go and be embarrassing people like that. Or your child will now see somebody that has a disability, for example. Why is he sitting on a wheelchair? Why is he walking like that? Why is he this? Why is he that? Teach your children not to point at people. Some people used to point at, hey, I remember one day that my child almost embarrassed me to point, as in, I just hold the hand like this. Come on, chuck it inside your pocket. Teach your children not to talk about people's disabilities, not to talk about people's physical characteristics, because it is very rude. These are lessons that you should teach them. I will come here and tell you more things later. But for now, I'm ending this video. It's long enough. I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me chip in the comment section. What else do you think we need to teach our children that you've noticed that people's children do that is wrong and you need them to stop doing? Chip in the comment section. Let's learn. Because these ones I said are the ones that I can remember. There might be some you will tell me now that I didn't even know about, and I will also learn it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay safe until I come your way again with another parenting video. Stay safe, stay blessed. We are gonna see ourselves in the next video. Bye.